Yo, what is going on, everybody? Septic here. First and foremost, Happy New Year, everybody. So this is the first video of 2026, and before I decided to continue on with some of the other videos I had planned, I want to pretty much just talk about my favorite games from last year. So we're pretty much going to be jumping back to 2025, talk about some of the games that I played from that year, and pretty much just share which ones I really loved from that year. Just to let you know, I did not play a lot of games in 2025. I saw my game catalog that I pretty much had, that I was looking through, looking at all the games I really played this year that came out in 2025, and I was stumped. I was like, yeah, I really did not play anything. I was not playing a single thing. I did play some things and everything from this year, so I had enough to make my top 5. And this is going to be the list. I'm just going to get right into it in just a moment. I just want to thank you all for all the love that you guys have been showing me. We're almost at 400 subscribers as I'm making this video. So I'm just going to say it here early on. But if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to me and everything. I appreciate all the supports, all the likes and everything. It makes me happy. You know, again, you guys are the reason I'm making these videos. It's just something I've always wanted to do. I always just love talking about games and just being able to yap about it. For those of you who've been subscribed to the channel, liking my videos, thank you so much, guys. You guys have made me really happy and all that stuff. I'm doing this because of you guys watching it. And yeah, and just my passion for gaming. I'm really bad with words. I'm sorry, but your kindness means a lot to me, guys. Thank you for all the generosity, and let's get into this video. All right, so let's start off with number 5, and we're gonna add Mario Kart World into here. Yeah, it goes to show I really didn't play a lot of games if I'm already starting off with something like Mario Kart World. So what can I say about Mario Kart World that hasn't been said already? So, latest installment in the Mario Kart franchise. It is a fun game, and I had no issues with it whatsoever while I was playing through it. I had a great time. Cast of characters are really large and everything. There's no story here to really break down. It's just kart racing. Mario and his friends are going out and just racing some karts. How much more fun can it be? You're dealing with a bunch of chaotic mess on the road, you know? It's your standard Mario Kart craziness that's pretty much happening out on the racetrack. However, it is pretty low because I did have some complaints with it. I'm going to start off with the roster. Yes, it's very huge and everything, right? But my problem is that, there's a lot of generic characters here when some of their other characters from the Mario Kart series are not really here. People that you would expect to see playable, someone for example, Diddy Kong isn't here. Someone that, Kamek, for example, isn't here. There's a lot of missing Mario characters that I feel would definitely make the roster a lot more livelier and a lot more, I guess, colorful. Yeah, I guess I could say, but I mean, there's a bunch of other generic enemies. There's some funny ones and everything, but it's why are these here over some other big important Mario characters? Again, it definitely has to do with the gimmick that they put with Kamek and everything. Another one who should have been playable, like I mentioned. But it's you couldn't really have these guys here in the roster. Come on, man, come on. The other one was the intermission stages. I felt like the intermission stages were very bland and boring. It's just pretty much a straight line from one cup to the other. At first, I didn't mind it too much, but as I started continuing and playing through it, I pretty much got to see the issues that it has. It's just one straight path, no turns, and then again the final lap is just one lap around the actual course, and that's probably why I didn't really gravitate too much towards some of these courses, because you only really get to see them for one final lap, so they don't really stay in your brain too much. Now there have been patches that have made the intermission stages a little bit better, but I would much rather they don't include intermissions ever again. I don't mind the mode, the cup that you have just for intermissions and everything, that I don't mind. But I can live without intermissions. The other thing I don't really care about is the open world. I'm not going to really give it a negative for this. It's just something that didn't really gravitate to me. And plus, they didn't really make it interesting. There's not really anything crazy that you can unlock. There's a lot of missions there. They get you decals. That's cool, I guess, for those that really want some of those decals. But for me, I just really did not care too much about these decals. They're just whatever to me. If anything, I feel what they could have put here is a mode for 200cc, or complete a couple missions and you get the gold cart. Something like that would have made actually completing these missions worthwhile. But then that's pretty much my main gripes with the game, because the music is great, the game looks gorgeous, the gameplay is great. I think it might be better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but as a gameplay standpoint, but I can't say the whole game is better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Of course, the other negative I have is the price and everything. I'm not gonna like go into that. That's pretty much beating a dead horse. Like, we don't need to explain that. The $80 for Mario Kart World is ridiculous and definitely not worth it. Definitely try to get it on sale if you can. But overall, I had a fun time with the game. It's not bad. There's just definitely need to be a lot of improvements. We're seeing them little by little improving the game. I just don't think intermissions are it. They definitely gotta. I hope they don't return the next Mario Kart game. And definitely the open world aspect. I don't know. I personally did not see the appeal of these open world stuff. But you know, on the topic of kart racers, let's get to number 4. And number 4 for me is going to be Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Now this I had an absolute blast playing through. So once again, we're getting another Sonic Racing game and everything. This time not being made by Sumo Digital, the same guys who made Sonic Racing All-Stars and Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. But instead we have a new team working on the game. And I think it was being made by the initial D devs, like the guys who made those arcade games and everything. And I gotta say, wow, they killed it. This game was really, really fun. I love it. They really nailed the racing. All the chaos in these stages is great. I love it. I can't really complain too much about the way this game is. All right, let's get to the roster here. The roster of this game is just all pure Sonic characters. There's 23 characters in the base game, an unlockable one that you can get. They can only really use in the tournaments, which is pretty much Super Sonic. But they pretty much got like every major Sonic character in this game playable. There's a huge variety of them. I think the only ones that didn't really get too much love are the Deadly Six. I feel like they definitely could have done with at least one more character from that series. But, I mean, it's the Deadly Six, and I really don't care, especially when I got all the major Sonic characters in the base game. This game's gonna get even crazier. Once we start getting like all the free characters, we get all the paid characters, this game's gonna be a wrap. This game's gonna be probably one of my favorite kart racers of all time. So yeah, a lot of Sonic characters. They're adding the IDW comic Sonic characters. We have the Sonic Prime characters. They added a Werehog. And then even further than that, we have Sega reps and everything. As of making this video, you know, we have Joker, we have Ichiban, we have Hatsune Miku, we got Knights, and then the third-party characters that are brought from the paid DLC. We have a whole Minecraft pack with Steve and the Creeper in there. We have a Pac-Man pack. We get to play as Pac-Man, which is crazy. We have a SpongeBob pack. SpongeBob and Patrick are both playable. Okay. Next up is a Mega Man pack and everything with Mega Man and Proto Man, so I'm really excited about that. And then later on, we have the TMNT pack and the Avatar pack. This game is ridiculously huge, man. Like, there's so many characters in this game. I love how it's starting to slowly feel like I'm playing Sonic Racing All-Stars Transformed and everything. And I think that's what I like about the game. It launched as primarily a Sonic Racing game, but as the game slowly gets continued updates and more free characters are starting to drop, like, they're pretty much just expanding the roster with the Sega characters that pretty much give it, you know, the Sega appeal and everything that makes it feel like you're playing All-Stars 3. So that's why at some point I'm just gonna be like Sonic and Sega Racing CrossWorlds at this point, you know what I mean? However, that doesn't mean I don't have any gripes with the game. There are some things I am not a fan of. I think one of the things is definitely the tickets. Getting tickets in this game is absolutely ridiculous, especially if you're trying to unlock everything. I don't know what they were thinking with that amount of tickets in the game. I definitely think they should increase the tickets or make it an easy way to repeat ticket earnings and everything. But I personally think it is absolutely ridiculous. And my other gripe is some of the racers, specifically the DLC ones, don't have any voices. So while, like, for example, you get Hatsune Miku and everything, she has her Vocaloid voice and everything. But then when you get to play someone like Joker, for example, he doesn't even speak. He's just silent. You just hear sound effects. Same goes for characters like Ichiban and then all these other recent characters. SpongeBob came out, silence. Like, I feel like there should have been some voice acting here. I feel like it would have definitely livened it up. They definitely didn't have them be in the regular cups and everything, so they don't have any rival interactions, but just give them a simple line. They don't have to have specific rival interactions. Just have them have a basic generic quote that they will say for every time you race them, or two, you know? I don't know, like, they don't need to have specific interactions, but that's personally me and everything. So I think those are like probably my two biggest gripes with the game, because other than that, the game is just tons of fun. I love the game. I love the stages. The stages are great. It is personally my favorite racing game of this year, between Mario Kart, and Sonic. But for me, I'm going to give Sonic Racing CrossWorlds a 4. I'm really excited to see what else they have planned for this game. Alright, let's get to number 3, and I'm going to be giving it to Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, there was definitely a lot of hate for this game online that honestly was just not warranted. Like, people are saying that this game was like the worst game of the year. It's not. It's definitely not the worst game of the year, guys. Like, trust me, Pokemon Legends ZA is a ton of fun. I personally really enjoyed it. But that's because also, one, I am a Pokemon fan, of course. And number 2, I did love X and Y, so there's a lot of love given to the game if you're a big fan of X and Y, and then it goes right back to Gen 3 and 4 pandering with the DLC. But let's start off on, you know, at the beginning of the game. Okay, so I think the only complaint I have is that you're stuck in Lumiose, man. Like, first of all, I love that we have a more, like, I guess, sizable Lumiose and everything. Like, Lumiose, if it was on the 3DS and everything, like how much they're able to pretty much fill in. But man, I would have loved to have explored some of the other cities in Pokemon X and Y. Like, X and Y had some really nice places that I think would look really damn well in like a full 3D environment. But the fact that we're stuck in Lumiose only is kind of like whatever. I'll accept it, but man, I wish I could explore more of a Kalos and everything. Other than that, like, I really had no complaints with this game. Like, I had a ton of fun. Sure, the Pokemon variety is small and everything, but I feel like a smaller Pokemon variety definitely makes for unique team building. That's something that I definitely complain about with like more modern Pokemon games. It's like with modern Pokemon games, like, they try to put a bunch of Pokemon in the games, and it's like, or kind of struggling, like, what should I use? You know, there's so much that is in front of you that overwhelms you and all that stuff. So I feel like the smaller variety is definitely fine and everything. Especially since the main highlight is the Mega Evolutions. People are going to be using Mega Pokemon anyways. The new Mega Pokemon are absolutely incredible. But essentially, like, you know, I'm mainly using the Mega Forms and everything. The Wild Zone stuff was pretty cool. They're alright, you know, it's just, again, more of Lumiose, just gated off and filled with Pokemon. But I think where this game really shines is the story and everything like that. I love the way this game's story was. So, once again, this is not a game where we're, you know, trying to get all the gym badges and everything. It's kind of like Legends Arceus. You know, you're playing as a different trainer, you know, like just doing his own thing. In this case, this trainer is on vacation and he ends up just joining Team MZ and all that stuff and pretty much helping out around town, doing quests and all that stuff. You know, something's going on with Lumiose and all that stuff, so he needs to get to the bottom of it. And I think why the story like really feels good is like just the way it's told. And I just love the interaction with the characters because like I feel like when it comes to like Pokemon games, like a lot of the characters don't really stand out to you. You'll like them by their design and everything. Then after that, that's it. They're gone. You don't really see them. You don't really interact with them anymore. They're just thrown away. You know, like with this game, like the main focus is you hanging out. You know, doing these missions and eventually meeting these side characters. And there's a lot of moments for them to shine. So you're going to be seeing them a lot. They play an integral part in the story and everything. So you see all these characters and you really just get to be invested in them and all that stuff. Like, they have their own personalities. They're very unique and everything, very colorful. So it's like you can't forget them. So that's one thing I really love about the story. The music, dude, the music is great. Like from the remix tracks and everything to the brand new tracks that were added into this game, it's a 10 out of 10, man. Like, I love this game's soundtrack. Honestly, Jeff Keighley should have put that as a nomination for best music. I have been playing the DLC and everything like that. And my major gripe with the DLC is the fact that it's a grind fest. Like, it can be really annoying and everything. The story stuff is pretty nice and everything, but it is a grind fest. So I do want to warn you about that. I am also not a big fan of them hiding Mega Stones behind online battles. That's a big no-no for me. I personally don't like that, especially locking like the Kalos starters and the Hoenn starter Mega Evolutions through online battles. I think that sucks. That blows, in my opinion. That should just personally be available in the game. But overall, the main experience of the game, I think it is definitely a must-have. Like, I've been really enjoying Pokemon games as of late. I think Legends Arceus, Scarlet and Violet, and Pokemon Legends ZA have pretty much been some of the pinnacle of Pokemon in recent times. They can definitely get better and everything like that. I'm not gonna, like, you know, be like, yeah, the graphics are like 10 out of 10. They're not perfect, obviously, but I'm not gonna like critique it. They're definitely improving and all that stuff. And they just got to get better because let me tell you something, man. Like, this game is great. Like, there's something special here. Probably like one of my favorite Pokemon games in a long time and everything. It's amazing. 10 out of 10. Okay, not actually 10 out of 10, but my overall experience of the game was an absolute blast. I just want them to continue. Like, all these Pokemon games have been great, but overall, if you guys can get your hands on Pokemon Legends ZA, I definitely recommend it. All right, let's go on ahead and let's talk about number 2. And my number 2 is actually going to go to Donkey Kong Bananza. I don't know if you guys expected that, but If you've been seeing me on Twitter the way I talked about Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think that game was an absolute treat. It was an absolute blast. I don't want to talk about the story, obviously, either. But, you know, the simple premise is, Donkey Kong goes find bananas and all that stuff. This Void Company stuff is doing things to try to get more money and all that stuff. And Donkey Kong also goes to stop them as well, while also going to collect bananas, you know? It's a Donkey Kong game. He is not alone on this journey, and he is accompanied by a young Pauline. She's pretty much with him, and they go off together on a journey. He has these amazing Bonanza powers, the Kong Bonanza, Zebra Bonanza. All these Bonanzas are freaking great, man. 10 out of 10. I've loved each and every single one of them. The music accompanying this game is also a treat. Like, you have the different sub-layer themes and everything. Easily the biggest highlight is 100% the Bonanza power songs and everything that play. Each one is unique in their own way and have like unique instrumentations that pretty much bring out the differences between all 5 of the forms and everything. And easily it's the highlight of the game's music. But the gameplay also needs to be talked about, because the gameplay is an absolute treat. You're just going around destroying the environment. The environment's your oyster. You can just destroy anything. There's definitely certain blocks that you can't break and everything like that. You know, kind of like Bedrock when you're playing Minecraft. But you can just destroy anything. Just use it as your surfboard. Use it to destroy other objects and everything. It's a blast. It's just Donkey Kong doing Donkey Kong things. There are some cameos and everything from like some of the previous Donkey Kong characters and everything that you will see here, like Cranky Kong. You will eventually see Cranky Kong everywhere. You won't see a lot of that. Instead, like you'll see them here and there, but they're not like the main focus. You'll see like some of the new people from the sub layers, interact with them and everything. But as an overall experience, I had a lot of fun with this game. You can definitely tell that this game was developed by the Mario Odyssey team, and just how much they were able to pretty much do with Donkey Kong that they couldn't really do with Mario and everything. This game was an absolute blast to play. When I beat it, I basically said this was my game of the year. First of all, I do want to also mention the game is definitely 100% worth it. If you can and have a Switch 2, definitely get your hands on it. You will not be disappointed. I absolutely loved it, especially as a fan of open zone areas and collectathons and everything. I had a blast, so definitely get your hands on it. So this was my game of the year and everything until very recently. I want to say very recently because I started around like December, I believe. I still haven't beaten this game, as a matter of fact, as I'm recording this video. But honestly, from what I've seen, it's my game of the year. It is my game of the year. I think you guys know where this is going, but my game of the year is none other than Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I don't think I need to pretty much repeat what's been said. For those that watch the Game Awards, or me talk about it in the Pesky Plumbers podcast, which you should also be watching, you would remember that I pretty much just said this was the Expedition 33 Awards. Like, everything that you saw there, if you saw that Expedition 33 got nominated for it, more than likely it was winning that award. The only one I remember it not winning was Player's Voice, but that's also, you know, controlled by fans. And gacha fans are pretty crazy when they want their wins. We don't need to talk about the whole Genshin fiasco and all that, so that was horrible. But pretty much other than that, Expedition 33 was just winning everything. Every single award, it was just winning and winning. Of course, by the time we got to the game of the year, like, they you know, you might as well just have had them right there waiting. Because, like, there was no point. And they were just winning every word, and rightfully so. I finally got to play the game in December. I started playing a little bit, I think, before the Game Awards, I believe. I could be wrong on that one. I forgot if it was before or after. There's definitely some things I tried to avoid watching in the Game Awards just in case of spoilers. But I finally got to play the game. I gotta say, from where I'm at right now, again, I'm not finished with the game. I'm not done with the main game story. This is definitely the game of the year. Like, 100%. This game is absolutely beautiful. I don't want to say anything about the story, right? But, you know, obviously with the way it is, you can tell, like, they only have a certain amount of time to live, and each year just goes down. And they're pretty much trying to break the cycle of that. It's not that long of an RPG either. So if you're trying not to, like, go off the beaten path, you know, you're not trying to do a lot of side quests and everything, you can pretty much get this done, I want to say about, like, 35, 40, 50 hours, depending on, like, how you play and everything, right? I think I'm currently at hour like 50 something doing everything, right? And I can just do the final boss and everything. So we're getting there. We're pretty much almost at the end of the game where I'm at. And even though the game pretty much is not that crazy long of an RPG, it is still a worthwhile experience. Like, I play RPGs that aren't like super long, like the Kingdom Hearts series. Like, the Kingdom Hearts series is nowhere near the same length as like some of these other big RPGs. And you know what? And that's fine. Like, you don't need to be like super long of an RPG to pretty much be like an amazing experience. But easily, hands down, from what I've seen from the story, this this is a 10 out of 10 and everything like that. Like easily, like the story is amazing. Like I loved what happens, and from what I pretty much saw, like I think this story was great. Absolutely amazing. The gameplay, it's turn-based RPG and everything, right? But the thing is that despite being a turn-based game, you have to keep an eye on the game. You can't just pretty much do your whole turn and then just watch and sit there and wait and see what the enemies do. No, you have to pretty much keep an eye on the enemies, because you either A, dodge the attack, or B, parry it at the right time to pretty much do some massive damage. You pretty much always have to be on your toes depending on the enemies that you're facing and pretty much how to take them down. Personally, if you ask me, make sure you start learning how to parry, guys. Like, if you learn how to parry, this game's about to be very, very easy for you. Not like super easy, but like you're not going to have as much of a challenge. But I will say parrying is not easy as well, so I just want to mention that. And can we talk about the music? This game's music is absolutely beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. Like, everything I've heard from this game with its tracks, depending on what area you're in, like, each of them have stood out to me. Like, it absolutely is amazing. The battle music are also great. It is an absolute blast. Like, I'm gonna start putting these on my playlist just to listen to when I'm doing stuff and everything. This game's cast of characters are absolutely incredible. We get to start off with characters like Gustav and everything. You know, you get to meet Mael, you get to meet Lune, CL, like those characters and everything, they're incredible. Like all the unique creatures that you eventually start running into in the overworld, like these gestrels and everything, amazing. Like I loved everything about this game. I do have one complaint and all that stuff, but it's a minor complaint and everything, and it's not worth even saying. It's mainly just like and it's very minuscule out because it doesn't really happen too much and everything. It's like one of those things where if you die at a certain phase, you got to restart again. It's a minuscule complaint. That's just personally me. I'm not like looking into challenge stuff, so I don't want to like if I die in a phase, I just want to continue from that phase. That's personally me. But overall, like, this game is an absolute treat. Like, it's crazy. Like, I remember seeing this game last year, if I recall, in a Xbox presentation. I saw this game. I had like no interest in this game whatsoever. And then I saw the gameplay, and it was a turn-based RPG, and the way it was executed, I was pretty much, I could pretty much not get off my seat. I was basically kind of like this, and I kind of just went forward. Like, I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, this is hello? Like, because I'm someone that really loves turn-based RPGs and everything. And I even got to watch the developer direct like months back and all that stuff, and just listen to the details on the game. They went into what they were doing with the game, how they were inspired by like a lot of Japanese RPGs and everything, old school RPGs, and a lot of passion was pretty much put into this game, and I loved it. Like, they definitely inspired a lot of up and coming RPGs to definitely do something like them. Now, I do want to mention this: despite this game being great, do I want every RPG to pretty much take inspiration from Expedition 33? Of course not. I don't want every single RPG I play to have a parry and counter mechanic. Like, not every RPG needs that to be fun and unique. It's just that this game had it, that made it unique. And not only that, you know, like games like Mario and Luigi and the Paper Mario series also have stuff like that. So it's not unique in that aspect either. It's just the one that, like, you know, like, obviously it's now popular, so a lot of people want to see it more. There'll definitely be RPGs and everything, but I don't want to see every RPG like that. Because in my opinion, if every RPG was like Expedition 33, we'd have nothing unique, and they just won't stick out, in my opinion. But I want to say that Expedition 33 is easily my game of the year for 2025. It is a must play. If you can get your hands on this game, whether it be at full price or sale, get it. I would say just get it at full price. Don't even wait for a sale, just get it. Support the developers. These guys were like a small development team that left Ubisoft and everything, and they went out here, made a Japanese RPG inspired RPG, and absolutely nailed it. Like, what I played so far has been phenomenal. Where I'm at right now, everything's been crazy, man. Like, especially where I'm at. I already said it. I'm almost at the final boss, basically. I can just kind of go there and everything and do the final stuff, but it's crazy. Like, I don't want to say any more. Like, you guys need to play this game. It is definitely my game of the year of 2025. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much my list here. Those are my top 5 favorite games of 2025. Again, I haven't played a lot of games that came out that year, so unfortunately there's definitely going to be some games that you're like, wait, why aren't you talking about this game, why aren't you talking about that game, and all that stuff, you know? So unfortunately it does suck. I think I can only count actually no, I can count on 2 hands. But basically I've only played like 6 games that came out in 2025 and everything. I really didn't play much. I definitely need to improve that this year. We're gonna beat Expedition 33 and all that stuff, and then we're gonna continue on with other games. So hopefully I get more variety and all that stuff on my list and everything. I'm able to be like, wow, I played a lot of these games. Putting them here was hard. No, like this year was pretty simple and everything, kind of similar to last year, but a little bit easier and all that stuff. So hopefully I get to play more games and everything. Anyways, I know I said it at the beginning of the video, but once again, hey, thank you all for watching. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Share with me some of your love. Go ahead and like the video, share it around with others. Again, I would really appreciate it, and once again, thank you for your support. But anyways, Happy New Year, everybody. This is the first video of 2026. I gotta also mention that here at the end as well. Hope you have yourselves a fantastic day, and take care, everyone.